Hello, uh, good afternoon to you. For us in Setúbal, it's still midday, but thank you for inviting us. I'm going to talk a little bit on our expectations and our work concerning climate action on the CLIMAAX project. So can you go on with the slides? Thank you. So Rábida is a mountain. It's a region here in Setúbal that comprehends mainly three municipalities: Setúbal, Sesimbra, and Palmela. It's an iconographic area from the south part of Lisbon, of the Setúbal Peninsula. And we had a project that ended in December of last year, were funded by e-grants, and where we made our local adaptation plan for climate change on these three municipalities. And for that, can you change the slide? Thank you. We worked with EGOT, that's the an institution from the University of Lisbon, that applied this methodology to determine our main risks at the Rábida territory. We worked on susceptibility, on exposure, and on social vulnerability. So, considering this methodology, we already have from EGOT through this project to the Rábida region. The next slide, please. Jip, next slide. This is the Setúbal municipality, but you can see there's Sesimbra on your left and Palmela on your right. So all the Rábida area was studied by the professors and EGOT team, and we had a multi-risk scenarios. Next slide, Chip, please. I'm giving you the example for Setúbal municipality territory, but this was made for all the three municipalities that I was talking about. So as you can see, on the approach of the multi-danger risk, we have the maps for the present situation, the actual situation, with mainly downtown Setúbal having high risk on fast flooding, mainly fast flooding issues. So we analyze the risk like forest fires, heat waves, flash flooding, estuary flood, sea level rise, windstorms, landslides, etc. So these are the results of this analysis with our SCPB for 4.5 and 8.5 and the actual situation. So considering that we had already a very high risk at Setúbal downtown, we took measures on adaptations concerning that territory. So the next video will be a short story about the intervention that we made. Next slide, please. Jeep.
Setúbal is surrounded by protected areas such as the Rábida mountain range and the Sado estuary. However, the Mediterranean climate, typical of southern Europe, with the hot and dry summers and rainy winters, increases the risk of floods, a phenomenon exacerbated by climate change. To address this issue, the Setúbal City Council invested over 3 million euros in the Várzea Urban Park, where retention basins were constructed to prevent flooding in the downtown during heavy rainfall. In this park, we prioritize natural-based solutions because we believe that nature is the best teacher. We have kept the soil as natural as possible, prioritized native vegetation, and emphasized the protection of existing biodiversity. For all these reasons, this is the most innovative park in Europe. It's the first constructed with natural-based solutions on such a significant scale, combining urban characteristics and allowing people to enjoy nature in the heart of the city.
Thank you, Jeep. So as you can see, we've been working on climate action, on climate scenarios. We have this data from EGOT, but for us, it's quite important to be as a pilot on CLIMAAX project because we need to corroborate this data. We need also to work on other issues that we didn't address with the plaque Arrábida project. And we, right now, at the present, we are revising our municipality emergency plan from our civil protection team. And we want to revise it, taking into account the climate scenarios and the climate risks. And for us, it's quite important to have the toolbox in order to test our data and also to be able to put some more information from our part. And then we are also working on our climate action plan. We are planning the territory and trying to prepare the territory for climate impacts. As you can see, you already started with some implementation on the terrain, and we are quite worried if we are doing it well, if it's not a phenomenon of maladaptation. For instance, right now we already know that the Várzea Park is a success because we had huge floodings the last winter all through the Lisbon metropolitan area. It was quite serious, but here in Setúbal, the Várzea Park held the situation and there was no flooding at the city center. So we already know that it works, but we know that these types of events will be quite harder in the future for flash floodings, for landslides, for forest fires. That's something that also concerns us a lot because more than 50% of our territory, it's natural protected area. Arrábida, it's a natural park. And we have also a natural reserve and a marine reserve at the estuary level and a marine park. So we are quite interested in knowing what the toolbox will bring in terms of information for our territory and also to be able to corroborate our data. And that's it. Thank you, Jip.
Thank you very